purpose of the video, the purpose of the last video was flatten out the steel. I got a little impatient, started forming it a little bit. Now this isn't going to be like a super long knife. We're only looking at about 7 inches from tip to tip. Got most of the rough forging done. I'm going to true it up, see if I can't bring out a little bit more width in here. That way you got something that you can grab onto without, you know, pushing up on it and slicing your fingers off. Let's see. Nothing really much to say. Let's get this barbecue cooking. Some of this shape refined now. I'm going to cut the tip off. I'm going to cut it off the fork rod. That way we can establish the length of our blade altogether. Start grinding on it. See if we can't make it look a little pretty. Now, if we really make some progress on it, I might get start to work this down a little bit. Start to get a bevel on it, as well as quench. That's it for one. Things around while trying to work it while it's still glowing. Still haven't got the trick of got the hang of winding out the blade yet. I usually just deal with the length that I'm given and roll from there, but I'm going to try to fix that. Flipping the blade side to side. Reason for that one being is trying to make sure I'm getting enough spread out on both sides to where it's not looking like a scissor blade, where it's all beveled on one end and flat on the other. I want to try to make sure I keep the perceived edge as quick, as fast down the middle as I possibly can. Idea of where you want your edge. You just kind of like just chase the hammer blows where it'll send you. So you got a pretty straight idea right there. Chasing at the bevels. I try not to grind them in just on principle. I try to do as much forge work as I possibly can before I have to go to the refining process of using a grinder. And I've seen this everywhere, every so often through social media or random sites, whatever. Just looking up blacksmith and crap. Using a grinder to make pretty work makes you a grinder, not a welder or not a blacksmith. It's like that just makes you a good grinder is all. trying to talk to you at the same time, and well, it's a slow going process. You are trying to hot steel by hand, and seeing as I'm just starting out and I don't have that much equipment, fairly cool. You can see I'm still working it while it's black. It doesn't have to be like a glowing red or an orange or a yellow in order for you to work with it. You can work with it for quite a little while, but you don't want to get it too cold, because then you're just wasting your effort, wasting your energy. Strike while the iron's hot and all that. Now, the thinner the material gets, the faster it's going to heat up. Only because you're looking at a wide surface area versus a thick one. So it's going to heat up pretty rapidly, so I can start moving it a little more in and out. Work further along the blade. Try to true some of this up a little bit. I am going to have to do via the grinder. I'm going to start establishing my bevel, which is basically just bringing the tip to where I think it wants to be, because I don't want to get the blade any thinner than what it is. Because if I do, once I go into the quench, which is the heat treating process, the one that actually makes it a hard knife, might get too brittle, it might pick up a weird warp. You know, warps are fixable, but I'd rather get it right off the first time. You might see me bang on the same spot a couple of times. That's only because I'm trying to smooth out the surface so I have something relatively nice to work with. That way I'm not trying to grind out or chase any imperfections. Alright, so I'm back from the store. Gotta love being unprepared for it. Gotta love being unprepared. Get halfway through a video before you realize that you ain't got a cutoff wheel. That's just downright embarrassing. So, you bite the bullet, you suck it up, and you go get your things. So, in lieu of a real cutoff wheel, what I've got here is a 10-inch miter saw that I swap back and forth between a wood cutting blade and a metal cutting blade. Is this safe? Probably not. Has this blade already claimed skin off my finger? Yes, it has. Come on now. Because I can never get it right. And this is a brand new blade, so of course it's going to be sharp. There we go. Come on now. I'm a professional, I promise. I turned this thing the wrong way? Probably turned this thing. There we go. Now we loosen. Not gonna lie, had me scared for a second because I didn't want to take another chunk out of my knuckle. I really should invest in a proper cutoff wheel. Whew. Hardy nasty. Hardy nasty. Alright, slide this sucker back in here. Insert bolt A into hole B. And screw her on down. This will constitute a second video. I'm gonna look into a way to kind of dumb these things down for you, because I highly doubt you listen to me babble and ramble on about nothing for 30 minutes is very entertaining. So appreciate the patience. Now, because I have a really roundabout way of powering things around here, move this over here. Extension cord. And before I really get into it, I want to pour myself some lifeblood. Good old-fashioned brown gold. This video, unofficially brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee. I refuse to drink anything else. I don't care if you like to go to Starbucks, McCoffee, or whatever you are. I'm dropping a lot of copyright laws over here. Whatever. Black Rifle is the choice stuff. I usually try to drink mine black. I poured it right in the pot into this thermos right here. Now this growler. This thing will keep coffee hot all day and keep water cold all day too. So that thing is not messing around. Still steaming. I'm gonna let that sit because I don't want to scald my tongue, because I just talk weird for a little while afterwards. Now I got my miter saw plugged in. Got the blade changed. Try to avoid knocking anything off my shelf. Anything that can will. Alright. And she works. Cut it off right about the knuckle. There we go. That sounds like it took a lot longer than it should, probably because it's trying to cut off half-inch piece of steel. All right, so this is going to be our blade. Tip to tip, about 7 inches. Should have a tape measure floating around here somewhere. I'll be able to give you an accurate measurement. I don't. Oh well. Once again, unprepared. Go me. I really am unprepared for this thing, isn't I? All right, so gonna get the forge fired back up. Going to take that little bit off. I'm gonna round it out. I'm going to smooth off all these lines as best I can in the forge. Maybe try to thin this tang out, this tang just a little bit. And don't worry about this brown discoloration. It's just oxidation from the forging process. It actually kind of flakes off, so not too bad. Get a little bit of tong action in while we're at it. Now, fire for effect. I love fire. 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 Fire! Alright. Now, I normally listen to music while I'm doing this, but because I'm trying to make money by doing YouTube, I'm going to refrain from copyright law. Refrain for copyright reasons. day job. Wasn't exactly working a good work-life balance. So I figured take him down to part-time, which right now kind of seems like a stupid thing to do. Hey, you got a good job, might as well keep it, right? Money's money. Yeah, but then again, I wouldn't be able to make videos like this. I wouldn't be able to work on knives, work on passion, work on some other videos that I plan on putting on the channel. I want to do like Let's Plays and I don't know, just random videos, just stupid stuff. It's like, hey, look, here's a picture, here's a video of me nailing a 2x4 into a tree. Like, comment, subscribe, that kind of thing. Ooh, this got hacked. You know, just random general bull hawk you like there with my damn camera. There it is. Trying to wiggle on me. Now luckily I can get it in and out of the heat without taking too much time. Oh yeah. Which reminds me, I need to start ending these things kind of outros and you know the hey, hey, this is the video. Like, comment, subscribe. And I do mean comment too. I'm always down for feedback. Started to let him wander. You put too much hammering on one side, then you end up with a flat side on one end and a little too much heft on the other. Which, you know, to some extent, you do have to start thinking, it's like, yeah, I can take it off in grinding. For the whole 3 people that are probably watching this, probably only watch it once. Got too much salt in my diet. I'm such a salty bitch. Alright, that's not bad. Big wild swings at the thing because I'm trying to stay controlled. Because controlled swings are accurate swings, and accuracy is a little bit more important than power in this regards. You can hit it hard all you want. Don't mean a damn thing if you can't hit it where you want it. Not looking too shabby. Gonna do a little bit of work on the blade end and we'll see how it goes. Probably start setting up for the quench, right? Alright. So I'm gonna turn the heat down on this thing substantially while I get this whole thing propped up. So I will be right back. I'll walk over here. And I'm back. What did I grab? I grabbed a cinder block. Why did I grab a cinder block? I'll show you in a second. This little tube right here, this has my quenching solution in it. Now, I have elected, oh shit, it's not gonna fit. Oh, there we go. Now, I have elected to use canola oil. Now, there is true to form quenching oil. It's just this was cheaper and I could get it at the grocery store. And we're back. Welcome back to the Iron Rabbit Forge. This thing will cooperate with me. Alright, so the blades had sufficient enough time to cool down. Still, safety first. Going to put some of these gloves on. I've gone through quite a few pairs of gloves grinding on knives because just hot steel sparks will just eat through everything. It's basically turns you into a storm of sparks. Okay, good. It's not burning. Now this is probably going to drown out. Probably going to drown out the audio, so I do apologize. And of course I have no power because I unplugged the damn thing. Okay. I'm a professional. Just need to say it back to myself over and over and over again for it to really sink in. There we go. I am a professional. I am a pro. Alright, power on. like I said, I'm basically just trying to clean up the surface, get all this surface scale and garbage off of it. Ooh, there's a crack. That's not good. See what I'm looking at right there? Probably not. There's a crack, a hairline crack going right there. I'm gonna grind on the other side and see if it goes all the way through, because if it's just a surface crack, I can grind through that. Doesn't look like it goes all the way through, so that is a good sign. Alright, I'm going to keep on the grinder for a little while and clean this mess up. So it does appear I got a few cracks in the blade. You know, just overworking here and there, maybe a little bit of overheating. They look fairly superficial, so I'm going to keep on grinding them, see if I can't grind them out. But this looks like it's going to be the overall shape of my blade. You know, good handhold to it, very lightweight. As it sits right now, balance is smack dab in the middle of it, which is actually about where I like it to stay. Oh yeah, she's gonna clean up real nice. I just hope those cracks are nothing to freak out about, because if I go to quench and those go through and through, I'm gonna snap this thing in half. But I don't think I have much to worry about, so I'm gonna go ahead and grind a little bit more on the blade, get all the scale off the hang, thermocycle some, and we'll be good. Get a little warm out here. It looks like it has touched 85 and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, that'll bring you back to life right there. So, my fears were warranted. Those cracks, some of the cracks on the spine did go all the way through, but I managed to grind those off. Now it's got like a little bit of an eagle talon kind of look to it. Actually, that look is kind of cool. I am rather. Ooh, That is mean looking. Not quite ready to throw back into the forge. A little bit of grinding left to do. But pretty much the overall shape is established. Good handle, decent sweep, hard cut off, talon to the back. I'm going to try to flatten out this backside a little bit more. And yeah, that's something you don't hear every day, somebody liking a flat backside. Butt joke. Alright, we're back. Temperature's down on the steel, so makes it easier to work with. Now I'm going to go ahead and clamp this sucker down on the vise. It doesn't like it all too much, especially since it's such an oblong shape. You know, the fat end is down here, narrow tips up here, so it does not promised a real solid grip to it. I'm going to go against my better judgment here and actually kind of clamp it down right where I plan on putting one of the pinholes. Should be right about here. Now, I'm going to go with an 1/8 inch hole, fit a brass pin. I got the brass pins in the house because that's where I usually do all my finish work. Got a hammer drill right here because experience has told me I need the extra torque. Now I should have a can of WD-40 around here somewhere. Why? Just to keep it from locking up, I suppose. Give it a spritz and we'll see how this goes. Alright, pinhole, here we go. Wow. That actually went way easier than it usually does. Maybe I've been trying to make too big a ruckus commotion with a 1/4 inch hole, which is what I usually do. Alright. Alright, step to my loo, open it up, let's get this fat part in here. Alright, give it a little spray down. Right in here in the meat of it. There we go. See, that went way easier than it usually goes. And normally I try to run like a 1/4 inch drill bit through it and it just locks up every time. I think I might have been going too big on it. Then again, this is going to be the first one I actually do a brass pin, and I usually go with a wood dowel. Only because I try to use a oak as my handle, so it's, you know, kind of matches up and all stains the same, all nice, right tight, prim and proper, and all those other adjectives that you can think up on the spot. Let's clamp this sucker back down up here because we're going to get to thermocycling. Now, thermocycling, the whole process behind that is to kind of line up the molecules of the steel. That way, when you go into quench, it doesn't shock into a huge crystalline pattern, which is not exactly what you want when you're when you're trying to strike something. The bigger the pattern, the more space there is for shock to travel through, and well, if you got a crack, you're gonna find it. It's gonna be right in the middle of two spots that used to be one blade. So I'm gonna take this, put it back on the grinder for a second, get some of the burrs off, fire this forge back up at a low to medium temperature to get it just up to forge temperature, and then let it cool a couple of times, and that'll get it thermocycled. And once that gets the way we want it, once that gets thermocycled, we'll go for the quench. Away from the forge real fast. We're going to stick it in here, let it get the temperature. In the meantime, I'm going to pour myself another cup of coffee. This growler is no joke. This thing holds about 32 ounces. Once again, these videos are unofficially brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee. Small batch, roast order, accompanied by veterans, for veterans. No doubt you've probably come across their commercials on YouTube. Black Rifle Coffee, probably the baddest motherfuckers that I've... Sorry about that. Probably a bunch of the baddest people that I've ever met. And bad, I mean bad in a good way. They just make damn good coffee. That's all you really got to say. Get my lunch going quite yet. Black Rifle Coffee, if you're watching this, sponsor me. I love you guys. I'm a sellout. Please give me money. Alright, nothing in my mouth. Because the blade is so thin, I do have to keep an eye on it, because it will heat up pretty damn quick. Yeah. Do about 3 or 4 cycles, getting it in and out, letting it cool down, get it about that temperature, you know, a nice golden orange, let it cool down until it's almost black. Now because I'm outside, trying to judge temperatures a little on the difficult side. feathered eye is what I have. What I'm gonna have to have. Pop the top on this here quench tube. Bunch of gross canola oil on the inside. Canola oil. I actually did my first knife in vegetable oil, which when you quench a blade and you smell tacos, it's kind of a weird feeling. Feel satisfaction and an emptiness inside that you need to fill with greasy meat. I'll tell you what, if this thing don't warp, it's going to be a sexy blade. It's going to be a sexy knife. Down to temp. Crank the forge up. Give it one more thermo cycle, and then I'm going to go for the quench. Cross our fingers. And I am almost out of fuel, so this will be my only shot. That tip is a lot hotter than the rest of the blade. That's what I got to watch out for. A little bit more. Get some more heat down towards that handle. Alright. This will be the last cycle, and then I'm going to go straight into the dip. Can you feel the anticipation yet? Can you feel it? Are you feeling excited, y'all? No? Alright, it's just me then. Who the hell am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. John, if you're watching, I hate you. Just kidding. I love you. You're my best friend. You know, help my pressure is tanking. I need to get this in here now. You know, help a guy. You know, help a guy out. Spread the video. Buy my knives. Right now they're make to order, but I wanna spit out like a lot more. So hook me up. Yeah, I am petered out. Well, that's it. Here's quench. Came out a little. Would you look at that? Got a little bit of a bend in it, but nothing that holding on it for a second while it cools the rest of the way can't fix. And while my propane tank sputters out with everything that's got left, look at that. I do declare All right, give it a second to finish setting up. Get some of this, brush some of this scale off of it. And the old trusty dusty file test. We grab a file first. You hear that? Skating glass. That is a hard blade. Now, before my battery dies, my gas is already out. I'm going to call it quits right here. Thank you for watching. I'm Roger. This is the Iron Rampant Forge. I'll see you next time. Good little cutting knife. I imagine it's gonna probably take this little back bump off, take this little niblet off, create a nice, pretty good utility knife. Probably won't get the tank much thinner than that. Probably round off the bottom here. Yeah, seems like a pretty good way to go. Got my thickness to about what I want it to be. So try to take some of the width out of the tang, take some of the thickness out of the tang rather, that way it's easier to drill pinholes through. Now these are normally the thoughts that I would just leave in my head. It's just like, okay, go over the diagram of the knife. Okay, this is what it's got to be. This is what it's got to do. These are the measurements, so on and so forth. A whole another couple of videos dedicated to just the handle making, just trying to drill the holes, because I have had the hardest time trying to drill holes through some of this stuff. I think because I've been trying to keep my tangs too thick. I've also been trying to drill a 1/4 inch hole, and that's not a small hole trying to drill through solid steel with just a hand drill. You know, power drill, cordless drill. I don't have a drill press or nothing like that, so I have to improvise. Is that doing anything? Probably not. I don't know. Just trying to make that transition be as sharp as possible without marring it up too much. Am I doing that right? Probably not. I don't know. If there are any actual blacksmiths watching this video, then please, for the love of God, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Destructive criticism can bite my ass, to quote some random person on the internet. Alright, sitting at about 5 more minutes. That means I should be able to get my tang established pretty well. Not a whole, admittedly not a lot went into this video. Seeing as I'm getting at it bright and early, I plan on spending the day in the forge. So expect a couple of videos just in this time frame. We should be getting good to go. Cut this sucker off once I get a blade. I've been. You get dragonflies as big as your hand, you just mess around with those things, will pick you up and fly away. Don't play with the wildlife, kids. At least I hope there are no kids watching this. I am not exactly what one would consider family friendly. Alright. And 30 minutes goes by quick. Alright, so that is the second profile blade that we have going on. Nice, sweet, decent handle. I don't know what I'm going to do for the handle yet. I plan on drilling holes in it, putting some oak on there as a handle. Maybe torch it a little bit, and we'll see. We'll go from there. Next video should be grinding off the cutting off the tang about here, finishing it up, putting a good round before we move to the grinder, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to cut the heat off there. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just anyway, and cut a couple minutes early. That's all right. Anyway. Thank you for watching. Once again, I am the Rabbit Lord Roger. This is the Iron Rabbit Workshop, and I will see you guys in the next video. Now, quenching oil versus water. I prefer oil more often than not, because it puts less strain on the blade, making it prone to breakage, snapping, brittleness. Alright. I'm going to turn the forge off temporarily. Now, once this blade gets down to handleable temperature, I'm going to bring it over here to the hogging grinder, get all the scale off. I'm going to do what I can with a wire brush, which really isn't much, just getting kind of surface abrasives out of here. Basically trying to, when I get over here on the grinder, I'm just going to try to, establish that final curve without taking it down to a sharpness. Get my profile grind down, get this little belly knocked out, get this tip knocked out, and then once everything's said and done, I'm going to do a quick, what's the word? Thermocycle? Yeah, thermocycle. Do a couple of those, go for the quench, and see how it turns out. Alright, well, that's all I got for this one. Didn't exactly run up to 30 minutes, but it's a waiting game now. So I'll see you next one. I'm the Rabbit Lord, the Iron Rabbit Workshop. the hell? Well, we're gonna see how this works. A few cracks here and there. Not too worried about them. He's not worried about him. He says as he goes back to the grinder. All right. Well, I think this is going to be a knife. Little small, little on the dainty side, but this is going to be interesting to see how this comes together. I got to go back in the house and grab the drill because we're going to go ahead and pre-drill the holes for the tang, because trying to drill into a hardened blade is a little on the difficult side. So, gloves off. I will be back momentarily.